What is going on, everyone? This is Andrew O'Connell with Pristine Capital coming at you with yet another market recap video. It is February 19th, 2021. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this content, and I will continue to make it for you. Today, we're going to be going over some quick housekeeping items for Pristine Capital members. We'll take a look at the price action in the indices. We'll go under the hood and check out those sectors and style factors, some of the trades I took today, and then we'll wrap up with some options order flow. But before we jump in, quick risk disclaimer: nothing in this video should be construed as investment advice or recommendations. Please follow your own trading plan and your own risk parameters. And last but not least, do not YOLO your entire account into any one of my trades. All right, so let's jump right in here, and we'll start with our quick items for Pristine Capital members. This was our first week of being live with the service, and I am super pumped to really get into the full swing of things. So let's take a look here. Let me just switch this. Okay. It's really quick. We are now up and running. We are live. This was week 1. For next week, I am finalizing the long-term trend portfolio this weekend. For members, I already posted the file that has all of the companies I am considering in it. I'm going to be launching that next week and investing in all of those companies in a separate portfolio. So I'll send you a video with more details as to what I'm going to be doing and what to look out for. Next thing, I'm going to be creating a position file for you guys. That way you can see everything that I am currently invested in my Investing Championship trading account. As of the January results, I am in 9th place for my division. And my goal for this year is to get a top 10 finish. So I'll have to see. February has been a good month so far and just want to keep it that way. But you'll be getting a position file that has everything that I am invested in that Investing Championship account. And then, lastly, my weekend market analysis video. I'm going to be sending that out Sunday morning to all members. So just keep a lookout for that. And I'll go through a bunch of these sort of conflicting data points that we are seeing now. All right, so with that being said, let's jump into our markets for today. Today was Options Expiration Friday, so congrats to everyone. We made it through this Options Expiration month. And as we've talked about a bunch of times, it has been a very choppy week. This has been a very challenging week for somebody like myself that trades a lot of the high momentum, high growth names. But today, pretty much pulled it together. So it ended up being, an okay week. We had the S&P 500 down 0.18% for today. We had the Qs down 0.44%. We had the IWM super strong today, up 2.09%. And that really helped us. And then we had the Dow Jones down 0.01%. So definitely sort of like a tale of two markets here. And we'll jump into that. Now, really quick for this S&P 500 analysis, you can see that over the past maybe 2 weeks, we've gone nowhere. And over the past week, you can see, all red candles, meaning we closed lower on the day than where we opened up. So basically, intraday selling. And you can see we closed below the 5-day exponential moving average. We are still above the 20-day simple moving average and this monthly value area. At this point, a test of this 20-day would sort of be welcome in my book. I mean, it sort of looks like that's where the index is kind of like sagging over. So we'll have to see what the river brings. But let's take a look at our hourly chart. So in our pre-market session today, we were talking about how, okay, this is the first higher high that we've made since we really started this, very short-term downtrend. But you can see we didn't actually definitively break the downtrend by today's close. So you can see overnight market was pretty strong. Then we came into the trading session and we sort of just slowly slid down the hill throughout the day. And you can see we dipped into this weekly value area and we closed within it. So, I mean, throughout the week, we did test, below the weekly value area. And in my opinion, that was a really nice flush out. But we will have to see. I'll definitely be watching this 38.93 level into next week. So we're just going to have to see what the river brings with that. But yeah, definitely this price action, it's a little bit sluggish to say the least. It's not, the wind is sort of it's sort of in your face depending on what you're trading. It's been sort of like a very choppy week. But we'll have to see. Now we have options expiration out of the way. We're sort of starting off the clean slate next month. So we'll see what happens, coming in with an open mind. And then the other index that I think is important to go through is the small caps, because the small caps were definitely, doing something a bit different than the S&P 500 today. So if we look here, let's go to our daily chart. Yeah, and the small caps had a fantastic day. So yeah, like small caps dipped down, almost tagged the 20-day simple moving average yesterday. And this was, pretty strong, green day where we closed above that 5-day exponential moving average. So for myself in my trading account, I wasn't really like feeling the weakness of like, oh my gosh, this S&P 500 is dragging me down. A lot of my companies are moving pretty nicely today. And I'm sure that's the case with, a lot of growth investors, a lot of people that are really looking for those high octane stocks. So yeah, small caps looking, really decisive, pretty bullish close, whereas the mega cap names, the S&P 500, was much weaker. Now let's take a look at the Qs. Yeah, Qs you can see are kind of hanging around this 20-day simple moving average and no real strength to push higher. Yeah, you can see we gapped up this morning and pretty much sold off for the rest of the day. All right, so let's jump into these sectors and style factors, because today was like a complete 180 from really the whole, prior days in this week. So you'll see what I mean here. And that's why I think this has been sort of like a challenging week where there's different sectors and style factors coming into and out of play. There were a bunch of, high growth, high momentum names that literally were like falling apart earlier in the week. Yeah, you can see here a nice little bounce action. So we had the ARK FinTech Fund pretty strong, up 1.33% today. Those regional banks continue to be very strong, up 3.2%. We had the cannabis stocks bouncing back, up 3.9%. And we have the semis very strong as well. The SOX Semiconductors Index. Pristine Capital member today was asking me about, investing in this space, and was bringing up some individual names. You can definitely use, there's no shame in using the sector ETF either. Like, say if you don't really want to pick the definitive winner or anything like that, and you just want exposure to the space, that's why I keep track of these ETFs. I trade them as well. So yeah, the SOX ETF doing really well. And then we had the ARK Innovation bouncing a little bit. Some of the laggards for today, we had utilities lagging, which is a good thing if you're like a risk-on bull, because utilities outperformance is typically like a risk-off feature. Then we had consumer staples underperforming, another more safer sector, and then healthcare as well. And if we look at our style factors, you can see, so like S&P 500 closed down, which is like, okay, that's kind of bearish. But then these style factors paint a slightly different picture, where you can see the defensives were down 0.92% and the min vol was down 1.00%. Whereas we had high beta and cyclicals, have a stellar day, up 2.92% and 2.08% respectively. So definitely when you look at the headline indices, you're seeing sort of like one picture. When you're looking under the hood and seeing these style factors, it's a little bit different. And then let's take a look here really quick before we jump into some of these trades. I'm just going to pull up our VIX here. Yeah, and you can see the VIX closed down 1.96%. And the VIX is really just hanging out in a pretty tight range. Yeah, it's a nice red candle on the VIX, but did not close near the lows. So another sort of like, it's good that we didn't close on the highs, good that we didn't get a big green candle, but there's just that little bit of uncertainty because we rallied pretty hard off the lows in the VIX. All right, so let's take a look here. We'll go to our trades channel. I actually split this out into 2 channels. So let's put this right here. All right, perfect. Yes, I did a lot of trading today, so we'll just go through some of the highlights. So you can see here, these are, I split it out into trades for options and stocks. Just makes it a bit easier. And one of our members actually made that suggestion. It just made so much sense. So what do we have? Oh yeah, our Palantir butterfly. We closed that one out for a nice winner today. Essentially what our butterfly was doing is looking for a pin at around this 29 strike level in Palantir. We put that on after the pretty big earnings whiff. So let's see, Palantir. Let's see where it finished out. Oh my gosh, Palantir closed directly at 29. Oh my lord. So that's never happened to me before in my life. So that is just really cool. So with these butterflies, oh my gosh, that's just so funny. It's just very rare for that to happen. It's like a 1 in a million thing. So with the butterfly, you're essentially playing for a certain level and you'll make a nice payout if you hit that level. So like for this one, I risked $1.10 to potentially make $1.90. I ended up closing this out in 2 pieces throughout the day. So I didn't receive that full payout as if I literally like left it to the final like minute. But that's just really cool. You know, there's some like rare anomalies, but yeah, we essentially picked this level perfectly. That's not like me trying to brag or anything, but it's just so funny. It's pretty rare. I had a TTD, the trade desk little earnings lotto play that expired worthless here. That one was pretty much a long shot. But earlier in the month, I was just so hot with my trading that it was like, okay, I had a TTD, really nice winning trade. So I was like, let me just play with some of the profits here. You know, I'll enter in small size. I had a TDOC call spread that I closed out for about $20, paid $8.18. Some of these runners that I had on here, like I had a runner in Celsius, a runner in ARCG, that I closed out for small losses, but I took targets on those higher. So that's one thing, like when I'm trading spreads, typically what I try to do is, you know, if I get a really nice move in the stock, typically I'll take a target or 2, and I'll just take those periodically throughout the life of the trade. That way, you know, you end up with a little runner, you have a profit cushion, and then if these stocks kind of like fall apart, like Celsius sort of fell apart at the end of the day, ARCG as well, you know, it's not really that big of a deal because you took targets at higher levels. I had a PGNY, this company Progeny. I had a call calendar spread that I closed out for a small gain. So yeah, really just cleaning things up. And then I would say my big entry for the day. So I put on Penn Gaming in the pre-market here. And if you take a look, Penn Gaming, you know, it acted really well today. This is another thing that we talked about in the pre-market session, where a lot of these sports betting names had really nice pullbacks. You can see here the price action in Penn Gaming is getting really, really tight. So yeah, we had a nice day of follow through. So we'll see what happens with this one next week. But I really just think the sports betting sector as a whole has a really nice thematic tailwind behind it with the legalization of sports betting. And Penn Gaming is definitely one of the leaders in that space. So yeah, threw that one on as some common stock. This company, T-Pick, this one, I threw this one on yesterday towards the close. And yesterday, I was like, okay, you know, I'm going to put it on below this 20-day. And what I notice a lot of times happens is a stock will plunge below it, really just to stop a bunch of players out. And then it just rallies back up to the 20-day. Yesterday, this thing, I entered it around like 68. I think like 68.11, and it did nothing. Like nobody came in to buy this dip. So I was ready to cut this one off today. But yeah, we ended up actually getting some buyers coming in, and we closed above the 20-day. So that was definitely pretty exciting, making some progress there. And then what else did we have today? Yeah, that was about it for the most part. I did a bunch of trades. Like I closed out this ICLK for a small loss. Really what I'm trying to do, like my objective is I want to be in the strongest stocks, especially since I'm in this competition. Like if something is weak, showing relative weakness after I enter, I have the confidence in what I'm doing and in my strategy to take a small loss, without really thinking twice about it. Because I'm like, you know what, this money, I could be allocating it in a really good stock. So why would I keep it in here? I took a target in my Tiger common shares. This one, I paid $17.92, closed out a part of my position for $37.89. So that was a nice one. And then I entered a uranium name, NXE. So a lot of trading activity. And I'll have to figure out a way for these videos in the future to just streamline this trade activity a little bit, because I don't really have the time to go through every single trade, but that's more to come on that in terms of like streamlining these videos. And then really quick, we will pull up some options order flow. And let's take a look at what we had. A lot of order flow today. So you can see here, we have a lot of puts coming through. So we had, this is always like a pretty ominous thing. Like I see this happen all the time where you have SPY puts come in, and it's like right at the close. So it looks like people are purchasing. There's 3 of these. They were probably part of the same order. But you can see these are for March 19th expiration, and they bought the 371 strike SPY puts. So you can see this is about like $5 million or about $6 million in puts. Then we had Lucid Motors, or I guess technically it's not Lucid Motors yet, but this CCIV, a nice big call buyer coming in. CCIV struggled a little bit today, but this stock has just been so strong that it's not out of the ordinary to just get a pullback day. Let's take a quick look here. So CCIV, this stock is still super extended. So not really that crazy that we just got like an 8% pullback. Call buyer was coming in there. We have some Tesla orders that came around lunchtime. And you can see these were literally like day trades. Looks like they're probably just doing like a stock replacement play, or maybe they took ownership of some of the stock. You can see, let's see what Tesla did. Tesla's doing nothing. It's just kind of like waffling around. And then these blockchain names really crushed it today. So I posted, just a tweet earlier, and I was like, is this a good time to get into Riot? And I did that just because like that's like the the quintessential like newbie question, where it'll be like a stock that just rips like 1,000%, and it's literally like standing up straight like this, just gone parabolic. Then you'll always get those people that are like, is now a good time to buy it? You can see the stock, it's just gone crazy. A lot of these blockchain names really have had stellar runs, and we'll see what happens with this one in particular. This one is up on stilts. That about does it for some of this options order flow. So with that being said, that about wraps up this market recap video. I hope you all had a great trading week. Hope you all get some rest over the weekend, and I will see you next week.